You're listening to the Geriatric Mamas Podcast with Jessica Raziri
and Sonia Tapley. That much shit.
It's so much shit. So much shit. Okay. So we have a fun one today. I feel like we say that like whenever it's just you and me. I feel like we get to do all the fun ones. But we decided to kind of just have fun today, and we didn't want to think about anything like too serious, and we thought it would be kind of fun to explore some of the crazy pregnancy myths that are floating around out there. I'm sure those of you that are currently pregnant have fallen down a rabbit hole of searching and seeing some of these things, and it's one of those things that I feel like you read something and you're like, that's ridiculous, but then there's still a part of you that it's in the back of your mind and you're like, well, just to make sure I'm not going to do that. We'll just avoid that.
Yeah. And we wanted to talk about something a little bit different than the common myths, because I mean, Jessica and Tiffany and Kate and I and like all the girls, Amanda too, we've already kind of talked through the common myths just because they're part of everyday conversation when you're pregnant or giving birth. So we kind of wanted to do some just really funny and out there myths that we hadn't really talked about or heard about.
What's funny though is that like they're funny to us, but there's people out there somewhere that actually are believing
I would
this.
really like to meet them and interview them to find out where it came from. There are some myths that it's still kind of a mystery as to where it started. So I think that's fun. The ones that I was texting you that I wanted to talk about with you, they were kind of boring. So you found some good ones.
Yeah. Well, so those were like, I feel like the common ones. And then some of them, even though that they were like technically myths, I was like, but like, I feel like that could be true. So I'm not going to put that on here.
So I'll start by reading.
You'll start? Okay.
Yeah. Did we make a decision there? I don't think we made a decision.
I don't think we both decided that we were going to start. Ready? 1, 2.
Okay, I was drinking my iced tea, so that doesn't count, but you can go first.
Okay. Well, I just like really like this first one because not that I was ever denied, but like I just feel like I wish that I knew about this myth because I could have like used this as like a secret power anytime my husband was just like, oh my God, no, we don't eat French fries for like the 57th time this week. So from oviahealth.com, it's OVIA health.com, and we're going to include the actual links to these articles in the show notes. Sonia did a really good job collecting all of these. But from oviahealth.com, these are just some of the few that I thought were kind of crazy. So the first one is, denying a pregnant woman the thing she craves will give you a stye.
Damn right, it will.
Like a stye in
Seriously.
your eye.
Absolutely.
Like, I wish I knew that. I would have used that as like my power. Been like, oh, I can't have that cake? Stye. You're going to get a stye.
Right.
Like, I don't know how it works. Like, do you just like, does the pregnant woman cast the spell, or does it just like happen?
Your body just kind of takes over and gives you some good karma, I think. Good karma for your actions.
If you give her what she needs, then you get good karma. But if you don't, then you get a stye in the eye.
Bad karma. Bad juju, my dear. Yeah. So Mike would never have had a stye because I really think that he was excited every time I had a new craving. He'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to run to the store. I'll be right back. He was like right on top of it. He probably had his keys in his back pocket the entire time just waiting.
Well, because he was so excited that he finally got to like live his best life,
eat all the junk
He's
food.
Like, always wanted to eat.
Exactly. I was going through a really big health phase back then. So yeah, you're exactly right.
Oh my God. So there is this one, not to out Mike if he's listening to this, but this was just like so hilarious. So there was this one day, oh my God. So it was one day where I'm at Sonia's and we're in her kitchen. We were looking for something and there was this cabinet above the fridge, and of course it's this really high cabinet, and her husband's really tall and she's just like really petite, and so like there's this like really like there's this cabinet really high up, so she like climbs up on the counter, she gets up there and she like opens up the cabinet and she's like, what the fuck? And she starts pulling out all these like empty chips bags, like a half-eaten box of cookies. It was literally his secret stash, and he was putting them up high where he knew that she couldn't She couldn't reach them.
And we were probably getting in the cupboard for something health food related that Mike was like, let me just get this out of the way. It's like in my way. I don't want this.
Yeah.
But no.
Funny.
No, we stumbled upon like not Aunt Jemima's. What is that?
It was like Little Debbie's.
Yes,
it was like Little Debbie's like cakes, and it was like who even craves that shit anymore? Like, are you 5? It was like Little Debbie's cakes. It was like chips. It was candy. It was just like everything that like a fat kid's dream literally was just all living in this one cabinet. But to make Mike feel better, I actually had a similar case with Adam. So we were going through like a health kick too. I think I was doing like Whole30, and he said that he wants to do it with me. Whenever he says he's going to do a diet with me, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Basically, his equivalent of the diet is he eats all the healthy food I make at home. But then when he leaves the house, he stops through the drive-thru of McDonald's or Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, and gets like gas station candy and just like lives his best life outside of the house, and he comes home and eats mine. So he thinks that because he's eating the healthy foods, it's part of the diet. Right. Well, so there was this one time I was looking for a pen or something, and I opened up the desk drawer, and there was like all these empty Skittles wrappers. Like, first of all, why are you saving the Skittles wrappers? Like, why are you like?
He's probably trying to make sure you don't see it in the trash can when you open up the trash cupboard.
Discard the evidence. Like, guilty.
He's like waiting till you're not home, and then he's gonna bury it somewhere so that you never find it. That's hilarious.
Yeah. God. So the next crazy myth, I'll read all of these, and then you can read like the next batch. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. So the next one is a light brown birthmark. So if your baby is born with a light brown birthmark, it comes from drinking too much coffee.
Annabelle has a light brown birthmark, and I never touched a bit of caffeine while I was pregnant. And it was only because I was a crazy type A geriatric mama who, I mean, you can drink coffee while you're pregnant and you're going to be fine.
Yeah, but like, who's drinking that much coffee, though, that they're actually concerned that they just gave their child a birthmark?
Right.
That's my question.
Right.
So, no judgment, but I guess there was a little judgment there, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We'll move on. The next one, this one's kind of gross to me. Well, not kind of, it is really gross to me. This actually reminds me of one of our conversations that we've had. So, if you don't drink enough water, your amniotic fluid will get dirty. And I read this another way, too. If you don't drink enough water, then you'll have a dirty baby.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I read it like both ways. So basically, it was like your amniotic water fluid will be dirty, and then it makes your baby dirty.
Right. I think you're thinking of when we were talking about lymphatic drainage.
Yeah, and you have like dirty water
inside your body. So I can't. Okay, so while this myth is probably just a myth,
you believe it.
I can't help but overthink it and be like, well, where are they getting clean water from? If they're not drinking enough water, then and the baby needs the amniotic fluid, then obviously the body's going to save that dirty water for the baby. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe doctors could kind of fill us in on this. If any doctor
keep in mind these are myths. These have been proven to be myths, meaning that like there's no scientific evidence backing up any of these claims.
Okay, I think we need scientific evidence on this. Somebody needs to do a study for me.
Okay, the next one is for all you gingers out there. Eating spicy food causes your baby to have red hair. I've never heard that one in my life.
I haven't heard that one either. That's completely new. I've heard other things about spicy food, but I haven't heard red hair.
This next one I have heard, and I don't know, I kind of believe a little, although I didn't have any heartburn. But this next one is a popular one we've all heard. Heartburn. If you have heartburn while you're pregnant, then it means that your baby will be born with a full head of hair. I've also read this as, like, if you have heartburn while you're pregnant, it means you're going to have a hairy baby.
So just like in general, they're gonna be hairy.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like I need to clarify here. It's usually like a full head of hair, not just like a full on hairy. You're not gonna have like gibbers for like a baboon, you know?
Right.
It's not the hair on their head. But Hayden had like a full head of hair. He had like a good amount of hair, and I didn't have any heartburn while I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So
no, Annabelle had a full head of hair.
Heard that.
Yeah, no, Annabelle had a full head of hair, and I did have heartburn towards the end pretty bad. But in the post, in a different post, it says that heartburn is related to progesterone levels in the system, and then in the mom's system because of, being pregnant. And then in another study, it just said that, the hair on the head, on a baby's head, has to do with the overall levels of hormone in the pregnant mom. And so
Got it.
I'm wondering if there's a connection between progesterone, because that's what apparently causes heartburn, and hair growth. So that I'm just wondering. Maybe,
interesting.
Maybe, again, there could be a doctor or a nurse listening.
Even though it wasn't true for me or for you, I still, part of me kind of feels connected to that one a little bit. I feel like that might be
It could be
a thing.
It could be. Listeners, not readers. Could you just let us know your thoughts on that one? All right, so the next source that we have for myths is Britannica.com. And the first myth is a mother's beauty during pregnancy can determine the sex of the baby.
Yeah, so it's like a baby girl will steal a mother's beauty, whereas like a baby boy is kind to his mother and will make the mother appear more attractive during her pregnancy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like, I don't think I was more attractive during my pregnancy. I'm pretty sure I looked like an albino friggin' walrus for the majority of the time.
Yeah, I feel like I did too, especially in the beginning. I mean, I was having a girl, so I guess mine doesn't really count. But in the beginning, my hormones were way off just because of all the stuff I was taking for IVF. I thought this one was so interesting that I had to add extra notes. Of course I did. Of course I did. So in Britannica.com, there's this whole article about like the myths of pregnancy. And so the first one says a mother's beauty during pregnancy can determine sex of the baby is a myth. And then it's most likely related to morning sickness. And in general, morning sickness is a thing, and women don't always look their best during pregnancy. And then the very next myth is that if you're having a girl, you have more morning sickness. And so studies have proven that it's true. Some studies have proven it's not like a big thing, but some studies have proven that if you're having a girl, morning sickness is a lot stronger. So that would kind of say that the first myth could possibly be true, because if you're more sick.
So the first time I heard of this myth actually was on the Kardashians, because Kylie Jenner was pregnant with a boy and she hadn't like told her family yet what the sex is, and they were all getting together for like dinner, and she came over and Kim just kind of stared at her for a minute. She's like, "You're totally having a boy." And Kylie's like, "What? Why?" No, she was like, "What?" And Kim was just like, "Because you're glowing, you're beautiful, you're radiant, you're radiant." She's like, "Boys are nice to their mamas." She's like, "Girls steal your beauty, boys make you more attractive." And that was the first time I'd ever actually heard that rumor. And I was just like, "Oh, interesting." And I think I was pregnant at the time. And I like looked in the mirror and I'm like, "Yeah." Oh. I just like sat back down. I'm like, "Oh, never mind."
I
guess
so
it's not
funny.
for everyone.
I think you looked a lot better than you think you did when you were pregnant, because I know you weren't sending us pictures or anything.
Yeah,
but
no, I was sparing you guys.
The one picture you did send was really, really pretty. So
yeah. There's only like 5 million filters on it, but it's
She
fine.
sent us one selfie.